These doorbell cameras captured moments that are unexplainable. Things that shouldn't exist, and people creepier than you'd ever expect. So sit tight, because these videos will leave you shocked. In broad daylight, a doorbell camera picked up a man standing outside a home, dressed in a way that looked straight out of a horror movie. He didn't knock or say a word, just stood there, staring. He wasn't delivering packages or knocking, just watching. If that were my house, I would already be packing. Jaw-dropper. One night, a doorbell camera recorded a woman standing silently at the door with her mouth wide open. She barely moved except for shuffling her feet, yet never closed her jaw. The strange sight left people unsettled, especially since the homeowner wasn't there to answer. Online viewers compared it to that chilling horror scene of a possessed woman with an unhinged jaw. Creepy or not, what would you do if this happened? Mud zombie. In South Carolina, a woman baking cookies got the shock of her life when her doorbell camera showed a man covered head to toe in mud, violently slamming into her door. His head moved chaotically as if he wasn't in control of himself, crashing again and again until he finally collapsed. Police later found him needing medical help, but for the homeowner, the memory was nothing short of terrifying. Cracked woman. In Los Angeles, a strange woman appeared at a home's door one evening. The camera revealed what looked like cracks on her head as she bobbed awkwardly and rang the bell. Then, out of nowhere, she smacked the camera before leaving. Residents were disturbed, but called it a rare incident when she never returned. Still, that single visit was enough to unsettle anyone watching. Possessed doll. A man returned home one evening only to be startled by what his doorbell camera caught. A doll appeared out of nowhere and began speaking, its voice directed right at him. Terrified, he smacked it away and tossed it aside. But the real question wasn't what he did. It was where the doll came from in the first place. Staring figure. One night, a man ignored strange noises outside his home, assuming it was nothing. The next morning, his ring cam showed otherwise. A figure with unnaturally large eyes and a distorted nose stood silently at his door. It barely moved, only staring, before drifting back into the dark. That chilling image stayed with him for days, and thankfully, he hadn't stepped outside to investigate. Unknown woman. At 4 a.m., a doorbell camera recorded a woman approaching a home and behaving strangely at the door. The homeowner slept through the entire incident, only realizing it the next morning while checking the footage. The sight was unsettling. He had no idea who she was and had never seen her around the neighborhood before. That eerie, unexplained visit left more questions than answers. Unwanted visitor. During a cozy family movie night, strange noises echoed outside their door. When they checked the ring camera, their hearts dropped. An old lady was standing there, acting bizarre, clutching something in her hands. Her movements were off, almost like she wasn't fully aware of where she was. The family wisely stayed inside and called the police, because sometimes the scariest visitors aren't here to say hello. Silent threat. A mother and her son came home, not knowing danger was steps behind. As they reached the door, she noticed a strange man quietly climbing the stairs toward them. Her hands shook while searching for the key, time feeling slower with every second. Luckily, she spotted her neighbor and shouted for help. The man froze, then backed away. Sometimes safety comes down to awareness and timing. Gliding figure. In Dallas, one man's security camera caught something no one could explain. A pale figure with no legs slid across the pavement, not crawling, but gliding. Its arms and head jerked quickly, like it had a purpose. When he showed the clip to his neighbor, both were left speechless. Since then, that quiet street hasn't felt the same, and walking it at night feels uneasy, almost watched. Mysterious orb. One night, Johnson's security camera caught something strange, an orb of light hovering outside his home. Curious, he stepped out and felt a heavy presence surrounding him, as if the glowing sphere was exploring him. The orb lingered for hours, captured in several videos. Some believe these orbs are spiritual or even alien in nature, while skeptics call them dust or lens flares. But Johnson insists this one felt different. Dark guest. A neighborhood went quiet when a Ring doorbell caught something unsettling. A clown just standing there, watching. Its stillness and the way it stared made the scene feel straight out of a horror movie. Nobody knew why it was there or what it wanted, but seeing it in person would be enough to freeze anyone in place. That moment, simple yet terrifying, left everyone who watched the footage questioning if some things are better left unseen at night. Dark watch. During a late-night shift in Mexico, a security guard spotted something that made his blood run cold. A strange, humanoid figure with unnaturally long limbs stood staring straight at his camera. The sight alone was enough to unsettle anyone, but when it noticed the guard watching, it bolted into the darkness. Nobody has any idea what it was or where it came from, yet that single, terrifying moment left a lasting sense of dread for anyone who sees the footage. Cruel neighbor. A doorbell camera captured shocking behavior from a man targeting his wheelchair-bound neighbor. For years, he vandalized property, yelled threats, and even tried to destroy the camera with a hammer. It wasn't a one-time incident. He kept returning, relentless and cruel. The footage shows how dangerous it can be when someone lets anger and malice take control. Ghostly doorbell. Late one night, a U.S. doorbell cam picked up something chilling. Heather was outside with her husband and kids when she noticed a white figure drifting behind her. It looked like a woman in a long dress, yet no one else was there. She glanced back, uneasy, and just like that, the figure was gone. No footsteps, no trace. 1 second there, the next, vanished. Vanishing act. A couple lounged by the pool when the husband glanced at the sky. The moment he looked back, his wife was gone. He searched the pool, the patio, everywhere, but she'd vanished without a trace. What most people overlook are faint flickers of light rippling in the frame right as she disappeared. Were they a glitch, a sign of invisibility, or something far stranger? That detail changes everything. Door kick. In Oakland, California, a Ring camera captured two men trying to force their way into a home near Maxwell Park. First, one rang the doorbell, twice, but no one answered. Minutes later, he returned with a friend and began kicking at the door. Luckily, the homeowner yelled from inside, scaring them off as a neighbor spotted them fleeing toward High Street. Sometimes, it's not ghosts at the door, it's something far scarier. Hidden tenant. A woman came home and unlocked her door, not noticing that the attic cover behind her shifted open, then quietly closed again. At first, it seemed like nothing, but whispers of strange happenings spread among tenants. When security checked, the attic told the truth. Holes for watching and belongings hidden inside. Someone had been secretly living above them the whole time. That small movement on camera was the only warning. Silent intruder. A mom and her child walked into their building, unaware someone had followed close behind. As the child shut the door, the man appeared, trying to push his way in. When it didn't open, he didn't leave. He just stood there, silent, motionless, with his hands behind his back, staring straight ahead. No blinking, no movement, only waiting. The doorbell camera caught every second of it. Unwanted guest. A woman came home after a workout, unlocked her door, and walked inside, only to realize someone was already there. Her Ring doorbell caught the moment, and it wasn't a prank. It was her stalker, waiting in the empty apartment. That kind of discovery isn't just scary in the moment. It lingers, turning your own home into the last place you feel safe. Orb strike. A man was making his way upstairs when something strange caught his attention. A bright, glowing orb suddenly shot across the room, striking him and knocking him off his feet. The security camera captured it perfectly. Fast, precise, and impossible to ignore. Car collapse. A homeowner rushed outside after hearing a loud crash in the driveway and found his car badly damaged. Assuming another vehicle had struck it, he checked his doorbell footage for answers, but the recording revealed something stranger. No other car was there. Instead, his vehicle simply collapsed on its own. The unexplained failure left both him and viewers unsettled, questioning how something like that could even happen. Close call. Guys, always stay alert when heading home. This lady nearly walked straight into a nightmare. Just as she unlocked her door, a stalker crept up, ready to push his way inside. Thankfully, she noticed in time and slammed it shut, locking it from the inside. The man didn't stop there. He even reached for her Ring camera, trying to yank it off. A reminder that danger can be right behind you. Fading presence.
Drinking coffee? I'm just testing.
One quiet night, a doorbell camera caught something chilling. At first, it looked like just another person strolling by, until the figure slowly faded into thin air. The homeowner replayed the clip again and again, but the eerie scene never changed. For a few haunting seconds, a presence walked across the frame, then vanished without a trace. Strange visitor. A doorbell camera in the US caught a woman behaving oddly outside a home. She stepped toward the camera, only to pause when a car passed by, pretending nothing was wrong. But once the road was clear, she leaned in again, this time actually biting the camera. Maybe it was just a bizarre prank, but if someone tried that at my house, the door would stay locked for good. Doll trick. What started as a normal night out turned unsettling for one couple. While at dinner, the wife got an alert from their doorbell camera. On screen was a strange woman standing at their door, rocking something in her arms like a baby. But it wasn't a baby at all. It was a doll. At one point, she even rushed toward the house, as if trying to get inside. By the time police arrived, she had vanished, leaving behind only the footage. Paranormal activity. A Ring camera picked up something truly odd. A bicycle slowly rolling forward all by itself. No one was nearby, no wind strong enough to push it, and nothing visible explained the movement. Some people online quickly labeled it paranormal activity, while others argued it could be clever string tricks or balance shifts. Still, the sight of a bike gliding alone in the night feels straight out of a ghost story. Silent intruder. A mother and son came home late, not realizing someone was quietly following them. As they reached the door, the mother fumbled for her keys, then froze. A man was slowly climbing the stairs toward them. Panic hit, but just in time, she spotted her neighbor and shouted for help. That quick reaction might have saved them from something far worse waiting behind. Creepy visitor. While a family was out, their neighbor noticed something odd and warned them. Checking their CCTV, they found a clown standing outside, holding what seemed sharp. No one knew what he wanted, but the image alone was disturbing. Thankfully, the family wasn't home. Still, the thought of him getting inside was enough to leave them uneasy, with that eerie feeling lingering long after. Porch collapse horror. A shocking doorbell cam clip left viewers stunned. Shared on TikTok, it shows a man casually standing on a porch when, out of nowhere, the wooden floor gives way. In a split second, he vanishes into a massive hole beneath the deck. Miraculously, he crawled out without serious injury, but you can imagine the shock. That porch definitely had plans of its own. Night knock.
Hello. Do you have a phone I can use? My car broke down.
In 2021, a woman in a hoodie showed up at a house late at night, saying her car broke down and asking to use the phone. But right behind her stood a masked man with something in his hand. The homeowner refused and shut the door, just as the man tried forcing his way inside. Luckily, the second lock held. A split-second decision may have saved that family's lives. Silent chase. At 4:30 in the morning, a Ring camera picked up something disturbing. A young girl running toward a front door, looking genuinely scared. A car seemed to be trailing her, yet oddly, she only reacted when other cars passed by. She rushed to the house, desperate for help, but no one was home. For a brief moment, she hid nearby, then quickly vanished into the darkness. Who was behind her, and where she went after that, still isn't known. Vanished sky. On December 27, 2019, a doorbell camera recorded something hard to explain. A man stepped outside his house, but halfway down the path, he froze. At first, it looked like a glitch in the video. Then, out of nowhere, his body shot straight upward and disappeared into the night sky, almost like something pulled him away. He was never seen again. 2 weeks later, his fiancée found the footage, but even after close review, no answers ever surfaced. Door presence. Almost 10 years ago, a man started noticing something strange. His doors never stayed shut overnight. To figure it out, he set a camera on his bedroom door. What he captured still gives people chills. Through the glass, a face appeared, almost like it was watching him. When he placed his hand on the glass, the figure copied him, but whenever he opened the door, no one was there. After trying everything, he realized the only option left was to leave the house behind. Midnight knock. One late night in Las Vegas, a man appeared at someone's doorstep, knocking again and again. He looked rough, almost out of place, like he didn't belong there. Nobody knew who he was or what he wanted. The longer he stayed, the heavier the silence grew inside that house. For the homeowner, every knock felt like a warning. Moments like these remind us, double-check your locks and stay alert, because sometimes the scariest danger is standing right outside your door. Phantom child. Emily from Kentucky couldn't believe what her Ring camera captured one late night. A small figure, dressed in white, drifted calmly through her gated yard as if it lived there. The chilling part? Emily has no children, and her yard is sealed shut. Viewers who saw the footage were divided. Some swore it was a ghost, others felt it was something darker. But one question left everyone speechless. How did the child get inside a locked yard, and why did it disappear without a trace? Silent guest. At a small-town church, staff couldn't shake off the strange pattern of the back door opening on its own, even when locked. When they finally checked the security cameras, the sight was far from ordinary. A faint, misty shape moved in as the door creaked open, almost like it was halfway there, halfway gone. What unsettled them most wasn't just the figure itself, but the fact that it never showed up leaving. Since then, that door stays closed, no questions asked. Creepy shadow. Early one morning, a homeowner checked his Ring camera and noticed something unusual crossing the yard. At first glance, it looked like a person, but the body blurred and shifted like smoke, while the feet stayed firm on the ground. People in the background appeared normal, untouched by whatever this was. Some tried calling it a camera glitch, but the figure's shadow stretched across the pavement. If it wasn't really there, then why did the world around it seem to notice? Factory return. In Indonesia, a factory stood abandoned for years, but a late-night security feed suggested it wasn't as empty as people thought. Figures slipped through the doorway, different shapes and sizes, moving without hesitation, like they belonged there. They didn't stop or look around, just continued deeper inside as if nothing about it was unusual. Watching the clip, you can't help but wonder, was it just camera tricks, or did the building still have residents that never truly left? Night Whispers. A son grew curious when his father, bedridden and frail, seemed awake at strange hours. Setting up a camera, he caught something unsettling. His father suddenly sat up, speaking softly but not to anyone in the room. His body moved with surprising ease, almost like he wasn't alone. No one could explain who or what he was addressing. Watching the footage later, the son was left with a chilling thought. Maybe his father had a visitor no one else could see. Porch, Vanish. Late one afternoon, 2 cats were lounging on a porch when a sudden noise from the bushes caught their attention. One cat bolted, but then something strange happened. It jumped and seemed to vanish mid-air, almost as if it flew away. The other cat stayed frozen, clearly confused by what it just saw. Some think it was just a camera glitch, but the way the first cat disappeared felt completely unnatural, leaving everyone who watched the footage unsettled. Silent Stalker. A Dallas resident noticed something off for weeks. Her doorbell camera kept showing the same man outside, standing silently, almost like he was waiting for her. Sometimes he muttered things, but the words were unclear. She contacted authorities, and friends stayed alert, yet the feeling of being watched never fully went away. Eventually, the sighting stopped, but the footage left a lingering unease. Haunted ambulance. In Para, Brazil, a passerby caught a strange sight. An ambulance door slammed shut on its own just after the driver stepped out. For a moment, something seemed to move in the driver's seat, though no one was inside. Seconds later, the door creaked open by itself. The driver never noticed anything unusual, but the person watching couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Surprising disappearance. Late one night, Kaneka Jenkins was captured on hotel CCTV, wandering alone through empty hallways around 3 a.m. She seemed disoriented, slowly making her way toward a lower-level kitchen. Then, in a matter of moments, she vanished from view. Surprisingly, the cameras never show her entering the freezer, yet that's where she was later found, lifeless. How did she get there? What really happened in those final minutes? People argue endlessly. Was it an accident, foul play, or something we'll never understand? Haunting whispers. Late at night, a man was startled by strange tapping coming from his bathroom. At first, he thought it was just the pipes, but the sound kept coming, sharp and deliberate. When he approached, he saw a small hand press against the shower glass. He swung the door open, but no one was there. No footprints, no mist, nothing. Shaken and unnerved, he spent the rest of the night on edge, wondering what or who had been inside. Zombie encounter. A man exploring an abandoned house in town thought the ghost stories were nonsense until he heard it. Footsteps echoed through the empty halls, slow but deliberate. He froze, heart racing, as a shadowy figure shuffled into view, moving with a strange, unnatural gait. Every instinct screamed at him to hide, but the thing seemed to sense him anyway. The camera caught only seconds before he vanished from sight. Nobody knows what happened next, yet the footage proves something. Something alive, something terrifying was inside that house. Vanishing Intruder. One night, a security camera caught something unbelievable at a locked shop. A figure in a black hoodie walked right through the door, as if it wasn't solid. Nearby, a homeless man witnessed it and immediately sat up, clearly shaken. The door stayed locked, alarms didn't trigger, and the figure vanished inside without a trace. Some chalk it up to a glitch, but others swear it looked far too real, like something out of another time or world. Red Encounter. A Bangkok family got an unsettling surprise caught on camera. Their young daughter stood near the sliding door, talking quietly to someone they couldn't see. She pointed and described an old woman with glowing red eyes. Completely serious. Then, suddenly, her arm twitched as if something invisible grabbed it. The parents were frozen, unsure what to do. Some say it was just imagination, but the girl's calm yet fearful expression makes you question what did she actually see, and why did it react to her? Door chaos. A masked man showed up at a house and started kicking the front door like there was no tomorrow. He hammered it repeatedly until the door came off its hinges. But here's the weird part. He didn't go inside. He didn't steal anything. No yelling, no threats, nothing. After breaking the door, he just turned and ran off. Neighbors watched, baffled. No one knows why he did it. And that randomness is what makes the clip so unsettling. Idaho Encounter. Late one night in Idaho, a man noticed something strange on his security footage. Out of nowhere, a tall figure appeared near his front porch, standing completely still, as if it had always been there. No doors opened, no cars passed, just this silent presence in the shadows. The man replayed the video multiple times, trying to make sense of it. Some suggested a technical glitch, but the figure's sudden appearance felt too deliberate. Whatever it was, it left an unsettling question hanging. Who or what was really there? The subscriber's pick. Here's a moment that had everyone on edge. Late at night, a TikTok user was jolted awake by loud, repeated pounding at her front door. Uneasy, she checked her Ring camera and froze. A woman was furiously hammering, clearly trying to force her way in. At first it looked terrifying, but moments later, the truth came out. She was searching for her boyfriend. And had the wrong apartment. The instant she realized her mistake, she bolted embarrassed.
Who is that? Get out of here!
Can you imagine being the boyfriend that night? It's one of those moments that starts scary and ends almost comically, but leaves you thinking about how quickly fear and confusion can collide.